Hello and welcome to episode 51 of the RetroSlot podcast featuring Plok for the Super NES. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm back on my bullshit, Briar.
Yeah?
I'm
Hard?
back on my Mercari,
Like full on
eBay.
Mercari?
Oh my god, dude.
I was on Mercari today, actually, to be honest with you.
It is bad. It's been
How bad
6
is
months.
it?
I've been clean for 6 months,
6
Briar.
months and you relapsed?
It hits me so hard. I just am like, oh, I'll just check it out, see if there's anything, and then like the second I get a deal, I'm like, I'm fucking in.
Do you
I'm
mostly
back.
do it on your phone?
Oh yeah, 100%
Yeah.
on my phone. So
okay.
that's what happened. So the last like 2 weeks, I haven't been able to be in the office very much. Like my wife and son went out of town, so I was home with my daughter and the dog. So I wasn't able to like sit and like chill. I was like
Yeah.
out and like, around the house pretty much all day. So Mercari is very easy because you literally just like open it up, create your save search or whatever, and then you're like sitting there refreshing on your phone. You can like it's actually faster to get deals on your phone than it is the PC. So it's
Interesting.
optimal for Mercari.
That's
eBay,
true with the iPhone or the apps, not the App Store, like the Apple physical buy stuff store on the phone. It's like the
Oh, really?
fastest way. If you want to buy like an iPhone on release day, that's the way to do it. Is use the iPhone app.
Interesting.
That's a store for buying real stuff, not the App Store, but the store that is an app.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Anyway, Mercari app.
Yeah. I think the Android Mercari app is faster because I missed out on a few deals while I was
Interesting.
doing my technique that I do, and I missed out. I'm like, what the fuck? It was sold before I even saw it go live. That is not normal. So I think Android has a little
Damn,
bit
that is a
faster.
competitive
Like
market right there.
I think Android has a little bit faster reload of the
You
page.
have
No, like
you have an
when a
iPhone?
specific I do now.
Okay.
So that was the thing. Like I got an iPhone for the first time in whatever March, April, May sometime. And so then that's kind of when I stopped doing Mercari because I was like, oh, this is clunky and slow.
Oh,
And I was
really?
getting frustrated. Yeah, it was one of the reasons why I stopped because I got the iPhone and I was just pissed off about it.
Did you keep your old phone? Why don't you just use your old
No,
phone for Mercari?
no, because we do the T-Mobile jump thing, so we have to send it in every year. So
Oh,
basically, I can get a new phone each year and not have to like it just rolls over the like monthly
yeah.
payment plan thing. But we have to send in the old phone. It's like leasing a phone
I'm the
essentially.
only
But I
person
can
I
get it.
know. I only buy phones in cash. I don't like finance them. And when I say finance them, you're usually not financing them. You're usually paying like the exact same amount for the
Right,
phone if you pay for it monthly. Like
right.
they don't they don't charge financing or like interest on it. But I always buy them cash just because I don't want to
Yeah.
have like the phone bill be so high. Because my phone bill is
The
already
issue.
like $240.
Oh, yeah. So with our phone rental or leasing or whatever you want to call it, and insurance and all this other stuff, it's like for the two of us, it's about 200 a month. 180 to 200 a month.
Yeah. So
So,
when you say that, it doesn't sound bad that I have 4 phones on my plan. It's 240, right? But
yeah.
that's why, right? Because there's no hardware on it.
But then you have to deal with like either reselling it or figuring out how to trade it back in. Because what are you going to do
Oh,
with
they're
like,
broken by the time I replace them.
yeah,
They are fucked.
we have insurance for that reason because my wife's
Yeah.
broken a few screens and stuff. So, but yeah, it's been good. I don't like the iPhone UI, and but I've gotten used to it. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Do you
So
think you're gonna go back to Android?
I don't know. The main reason I got this is because the iPhone does have better camera. Like it's
Yeah.
undisputed. Like it's not as high megapixel whatever bullshit, but the quality's better. It's easier to use. The kind of photo mode, portrait mode thing is super cool. And for a content creator, camera's pretty important. And for capturing memories of the kids and all that kind of stuff, it's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah. The
So
iPhone cameras are pretty damn good.
yeah. But if the next Samsung phone, if the better phone is in the smaller um, form factor, I probably will go back because the problem was the last kind of flagship phone set. The only small phone they had was the like crappier one.
Okay.
So the two like faster, better processor ones were both giant. I was like, I don't want to deal with that. So iPhone, like they have a not as good one that's small, and then the better one that's small, and then the better one that's big, which makes more sense to me. I don't understand why you'd have two large ones, but I don't like 6-inch phone is too big for me. I want like 5.1, not 6.1.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I like the big phone because because I got bad eyes. I wear trifocal lenses. You know, like, I like to have the big phone so I can see it, right?
Sure.
But carrying it around, I've been trying to be real active this year, doing a lot of exercise, bike riding, kayaking, that kind of stuff. And it's just such a pain in the ass to carry that thing around that
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh man, do I really want to get a smaller phone? Or maybe I should just buy the Apple Watch that has like cellular service on it. So I don't need to bring the phone with me when I'm doing that kind of stuff, right?
Sure. Sure.
Because I'm not using it for anything other than like GPS kind of stuff
Yeah. I
or
just don't like phones where
emergencies.
you can't like realistically reach the whole screen with one hand because I like to
Yeah,
do everything with one hand.
yeah,
But these phones are a little bit too big, so you kind of have to like hold it with two hands. It's just
yeah.
not
I
ideal.
agree. You kind of have to do two hands. They were kind of perfect size, like around the iPhone 4 stage, I thought.
Yeah, I think Samsung Galaxy 8 or and there was also they had a 10e, which was like it wasn't quite as fast, but it was smaller. Um and they stopped making them. They're just like they were very popular. Everybody loved them. They just didn't
Yeah,
sell as many units and so they stopped.
yeah. That's weird,
I don't know.
right? The
Yeah. There's
Apple did that too. Is they had like I think it was the SE that was like the smaller form
right, well they
factor.
have the mini. They have the mini. The problem with the mini is it's lower like lower quality. It's like not as fast and all that stuff. That's
Yeah,
what Wiferton has. She doesn't really care. It's got the like lower camera, lower processor, that kind of stuff, but it is smaller. It's a great size, but you're missing out on some performance there, which is frustrating.
yeah. When we first got married, I used to just like give my wife my hand me downs for my like phone, right? But then
Sure.
she got like into it, right? And now she wants a new phone. Like she
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
the new one now. She doesn't.
Mhm.
There's no hand me downs anymore. That's not happening.
I feel like it's easier when you have more than like 2 lines because it gets cheaper per line.
Oh,
It's
it
like add
definitely
a
gets
new
cheaper
line
per
for
line.
20 a month or add a new line for,
Yeah.
it gets pretty cheap.
Like, and you
Um,
start adding like iPads and stuff on there for like $10 a month. The watch I think is like $5 or $10 a month, like stuff like that.
mm,
But yeah, it's like the first two are what cost, and then you can add more phones. I think my kids' phones are less than $40 a month.
total for the both of them or
Um,
each.
I think it's each.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but I'm on AT and
My
T. I should switch to a cheaper plan, but
my 6-year-old yesterday asked, "When am I gonna get a phone?"
do
I'm
not do
like,
it. It's one of the biggest regrets I have of my parenting life is I feel like I got my kids the phones too early. We got them because we thought the the safety of being able to use like Find My iPhone to always know where they were would be worth it. But what we lost was them just being absorbed by it 24/7,
mhm, mhm,
like just as you think they will be. You know, like
yeah.
I'd recommend hold off till as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, I think minimum would be like 12.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's about where my kids were, and I would hold off longer than that. I would
We'll
literally try and
see.
hold off as
I mean,
long
that's
as you
6
can.
years from now, so I mean, but
Yeah.
they also have, like, kids' phones that are pretty basic.
Yeah, a dumb phone I
Um,
think is a smart idea, right? It's like a
yeah,
safety measure. I think it's great, but a
yeah,
smartphone is all consuming.
yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they are for us, right? Like,
They
it's
can be.
hard not
I mean, I have to fight it a lot. How many times have I deleted Twitter off my phone? Numerous times.
to. The last 2 weeks, my phone, because iPhones do this, it's been barking at me like, "Your screen time is up 63%."
Yeah,
Fuck. Mercari, Mercari! 'Cause you to get good deals, you have to be on the thing the whole fucking time.
really.
It sucks. Yeah,
Oh, that's hard. Uh,
you gotta be looking at it.
I hate getting that number because some weeks, man, it's so high. It's like your screen time was like 8 hours a day. I was like, 8 hours a day? That can't be right. No way. And then I start like thinking like, what do I use this for? And it's like, well, I've got like podcasts running on it, like while I'm like driving. Also, the GPS is running while I'm driving. Like, there's so many things that I'm not actually looking at the phone, but like, I'm using the phone.
Sure.
8 hours a day. It's like, oh my God, there's something very wrong here.
It's bad when, like, all of a sudden your battery's getting depleted in the middle of the day and you're not really going anywhere or doing
Yeah.
anything. You're like, "Oh, no. I'm on Wi-Fi and my battery's gone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mercari." This is bullshit. but I have a lot of pickups to show for it. So
I can't wait to see that. I love pickups.
yeah.
We got a couple of discussion topics today. I'm going to go first. So I was thinking about this. If you were to really devote yourself to collecting a full set, I'm not asking which would be the set you would collect. And I'm not saying which is your favorite full set of video games. My question to you is, what is the coolest full set of video games? So, like, is the NES cooler than the Genesis or the
Yes.
AES? Like, would having a full AES collection be cool? Like, would having a complete PlayStation collection be cool? That's a huge collection, right? A PlayStation.
Yeah.
2
Any of the
collection or something
Sony
like that.
collections would be ginormous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like obscure stuff. So, for anybody who doesn't know, I have a full Virtual Boy collection, which is a reasonable collection. Like there are a couple of hitters in there, and then the system is kind of hard to get complete, but it's, there's only 13 North American games. I really like it. They're Game Boy size boxes. But other than that, like I think for me, the coolest would be like having a full complete in box Game Boy collection, which is
Interesting.
damn near impossible. There's a lot of games and some of them are really fucking hard to find.
Do you know the approximate amount of games that are you talking like a US collection, US release?
Yeah. I'm only talking US for me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking to see how many there are. I don't even know. 506.
Oh, really? I would assume that would be higher. What is the NES? It's like
Just
700 something, right?
original Game Boy, because I mean there's Game Boy Color too.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
The NES has like 600 and I want to say 660 or 670, something like that.
Okay.
But there's
that's
also like
black and white old Game Boy gray cartridges, not Game Boy
Correct.
Color.
Correct.
Which, arguably is not a different system.
Yeah. And NES, there are some like third-party games,
Right.
like unlicensed games and stuff that
Bible
people
Adventures.
try. And then there's also like stadium events. Do you consider that? Or the World Championship carts? Do you consider those?
Yeah.
I wouldn't, for just like a base collection. And I've known people that have like full collections, not necessarily complete in box, but the coolest full set. I don't know. NES is kind of I feel like NES is one of the ones that a lot of people go for because it is, 600 games is a lot, but it's not unreasonable.
Right, and a lot of them are
Compared-
really cheap.
A lot of them, yes. At least to get just the carts, but I don't know. I love fucking cardboard, man. Not
Yeah,
literally fucking cardboard, but I just love cardboard. I don't know why. Genesis collection, it doesn't have the same appeal to me. I don't know. I mean, because I grew up a Nintendo kid.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think?
I honestly, I was thinking about this while I was making the question, and I revealed my cards earlier. I really think it's a Neo Geo AES, the home console versions of the cartridges.
The big ass cartridges.
Yeah, the big ass cartridges. They look like VCR, like VHS.
The boxes are like
the
huge. Boxes are huge too. They're like a foot by a foot almost.
But for anybody who doesn't know that much about the Neo Geo, is that there's two different versions of every cartridge. There's the arcade version, which is the MVS, and there's the AES, which is the home version. And functionally, they're identical, but the plastic is different. They're meant to fit into different slots, and the packaging is very different. The packaging is part of what is so appealing on the AES stuff. And it's ultra rare because, those games were $200 or more at retail. If you could even find them retail. I never saw them in like a retail environment. I assume you had to special order them somewhere at the back of a magazine or something. When you calculate the price of the Neo Geo and the games, like in today dollars, like because they were $200 back then, and the console was $600. In modern money, it's like, by far, it's like $1,300 for the console and like $500 for each game. It's like, they're incredibly collectible, and people have like been collecting them since the 90s. Like, so it's not like there was a time where Neo Geo AES cartridges were like in a bin at Blockbuster Video. Like they've always been rare and they've always been expensive. They never got like cheap. They
Right.
weren't expensive as they are now. But I mean, to me,
The
that's like it's so exclusive to have a full set of those that I think it's the coolest. Plus, the packaging is so cool. Plus, like I don't know, they're just cool.
the cheapest complete in box AES game. Do you know what it is? The
No,
cheapest. Can you take a guess at like what the game is?
um,
Even the
it's gonna be a
series.
fighting game. I'm guessing. I'm gonna guess King
Yeah.
of Fighters something like 98, 99.
I mean, one of those is pretty close. Fatal Fury Special,
Okay,
complete in box, you can get for just under $100.
that's not
That's the
bad.
cheapest.
That's not
That's
bad.
the cheapest. The next one would be King of Fighters 96, but it seems like the thing is one sale per year. Like you can't really use that as a
Yeah, they're not out there, right? Because the
benchmark.
people who've been collecting these things collect hard.
But there are dozens, at least 2 or 3 dozen games complete in box that go for over $1,000. Quite a few are over $1,000 just for the cart.
Right.
Like it, 2 dozen maybe. I'm just looking at the prices on price charting.
Now,
The
I'm not
most
saying I'm going to
expensive.
start doing this. I'm not saying that like I think it's a good idea for anybody to do it. I'm just saying that I think it's cool. It's a cool collection if you had it.
Metal Slug complete in box. The last recorded sale was April of 2021. Take a guess how much complete in box.
$5,000.
Up,
8,000.
up.
I don't know how much.
$59,500.
Damn, man. That's a lot of money.
That's the original Metal Slug.
Would you rather have Metal Slug AES complete in box or a Corvette?
No, Corvette.
A Corvette.
I think I have no love for Neo Geo though. Like personally, not okay. Not that I have no love for it, but I have
Yeah.
no like. I don't have the nostalgia that you obviously have for these games. Like,
Yeah.
I would see them in the arcade and play them once in a while, but they didn't really remind me of my childhood as much as like a TMNT, Turtles in Time, or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're fun games to play. They're very polished. They're really nice looking, great graphics, music, all that stuff. But I don't know. I don't have that attachment to them.
So I don't have that big of an attachment to them either because I didn't see it. I saw the MVS, the multi arcade system or whatever it was called in the arcades a lot. But I was such a Capcom fanboy in the 90s that when I went to play fighting games, I just stuck to the Capcom stuff. And then I did that until probably like the 3D era started with like Virtua Fighter and Tekken. And, Neo Geo wasn't part of that. So like I didn't really play a lot of Neo Geo stuff. The appeal to me comes in the modern era because like I remember seeing these games in magazines and stuff when I was a kid and just being like, wow, that's looks so amazing. And now being able to play them, being like, yeah, it really is amazing. It still looks that fucking good. It's like the best pixel art we've ever had in video games. Like you play like a Metal Slug right now and it's just like this still looks phenomenal, like it's because they stopped making 2D stuff. So it's such a novelty, it's such a weird novelty to have.
I spend and flip and trade and stuff a lot for my collection, but I would never pay anywhere close to that amount of money for any game in any scenario unless I knew that it was worth like 10 times more. You know what I mean? Like if it was worth $500,000, sure, I'd pay 50 grand for it. But like, there's no way that I would go out and spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars on a game.
Yeah.
Unless I knew that it was worth way more.
So maybe it's the least cool collection because of how much it costs.
So much money. And every person that has it knows what the fuck they have. You're not going to be getting these bargains. You're not going to be finding, unless you go to a garage sale and it's like some woman's husband passed away and she's just getting rid of his games. But the
Yeah,
majority of the time, anybody that's trying to get rid of these games is they know what they
they know
have.
what they got. Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know. What about like Sega Saturn? I mean,
Sega Saturn I think is pretty cool. Uh, I
I
really like
like the
those
big
boxes
clamshell.
too.
I
Yeah,
do
they were
too, but
cool.
they're very hard to find in good shape.
Yeah, they break super easy too. A limited run, actually, I think they're still making replacement plastic shells,
Hmm.
just because they're just so destroyed. You know,
Are they the same as Sega CD?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah. They're super cool, but yeah, pretty much anytime that I get a lot of them, like they're all just fucked up.
yeah.
The disc can be in perfect condition, but the case is just mangled and
That plastic
yeah.
was so brittle. You know, it's the same as the CDs from the '90s. The same like
Yeah,
cheap
PlayStation games too,
plastic.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, just disintegrates.
One little clip breaks and you're done.
Yeah, 100%. And it scratches very easy too, so it doesn't look very good.
Yeah. Shelfware and such.
Yeah. Plus, a lot of those games from that era are already having bit rot happen. So I just don't think it's a super smart way to collect video games.
Sure. I don't know. I
Just
maybe
literally
for me,
rotting on
I don't
your
know. Maybe
shelf.
Super Nintendo. Like, just think about a full complete inbox Super Nintendo collection. Like, there's the big
That's pretty
box
good.
games. There's all the freaking staples. Just there's so many good games for Super Nintendo, and
There are.
that it's my favorite system. And I don't know. I would personally think that that would be the coolest, but that's just me.
That is a pretty good one.
My discussion topic was, what's your favorite dinner, like holiday dinner side dish?
Yeah. Yeah. This is easy. It's stuffing. It's
Did
like,
we talk about this? Was this the question that I asked 2 weeks ago?
maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to answer it again because stuffing deserves that kind of attention. And
I don't
Jay,
remember you talking.
I was so fucking sick over Thanksgiving that we had to cancel Thanksgiving.
Oh no.
We had people coming over to the house. We had to turn them away. So
So
I
what did
didn't.
you guys do?
I laid in the bed making moaning sounds. And my wife and kids had like a small Thanksgiving dinner, but I fucked up Thanksgiving bad. So unsatisfied over Thanksgiving dinner. Like we're gonna have like a redo and invite family over and like redo Thanksgiving this year.
Hmm. Just do it for Christmas.
Yeah,
Because a lot of the Christmas meals or like dishes are the same, ham,
that's true.
turkey,
But yeah,
mashed
stuffing
potatoes.
is. I don't understand why we don't have stuffing all the time because it's so
Yeah.
fucking good. It's so
Yeah.
good. Everybody loves it too. There's nobody out there who's like, ew, stuffing is just wet bread. No, everybody knows what it is, and they're like, yeah, it's fucking awesome, isn't it?
What's your favorite kind of stuffing? Like, what's in it?
I like it just pretty basic, just like
Like the stovetop box?
stovetop box. That's all I need. I want gravy, like on the side. But
Are you a pourer of gravy or a dipper of gravy?
I think I'm a dipper. I think it depends on the item. But I usually
You
make
make a
like the mashed potato lake
you make a little
Yeah.
pool in the mashed potatoes.
and then dip the other things into it. Yeah.
Sure.
How about you? What's your go-to holiday dinner side dish?
I think for me it's sweet potatoes. But not necessarily the
Interesting.
sweet potato like casserole mash. I like the chunky sweet potatoes with the marshmallow on top.
Oh yeah.
But I will say stuffing's up there too. It's neck and neck for me.
You know who does a pretty decent sweet potato kind of mash is Outback Steakhouse of all people.
Hmm. I didn't
It's
know
pretty
that.
good. Yeah, if you ever go
You
there.
like sweet potato fries and all that stuff?
I'm not a French fry person in general,
Oh
so I
right, we talked
tend
about
to
this.
stay
But
away.
sweet potato fries are different.
they're different but inferior.
Inferior to something you already don't like? That doesn't make any
Right.
sense. Making enemies over here, Briar is.
It's okay.
Send all your hate mail to Briar about not liking French fries. This is bullshit. Have you guys done this on DCP yet?
Oh yeah, we've talked about it.
I need a new co-host. This is bullshit.
Look, I'm just saying it's played out. French fries are fucking played out. French fries, tool in life is merely to be a vehicle for ketchup to your face.
No.
That's their most aspirational goal.
Ew. I more often eat French fries without ketchup.
That's just a waste of
Who
calories.
doesn't like French fries? Who
This
are
guy.
you? I've never like my kids are so picky, but if you say the word French fry, they're
Yeah.
like French fries, French fries. Yes, I want French fries. They like the ketchup though. They're like ketchup, ketchup. They're like
Yeah.
pointing to their whatever. This is
Sound like
I
good
hate
kids.
this shit.
So we got some news this week. What do we got?
We do. Uh so I thought this was fun. You can now record video on your Game Boy, like the original Game Boy we were just talking about a minute ago, via the Game Boy camera Pic and Rec, PICNREC, for $49. It basically attaches to your Game Boy camera, I think, and then you plug it into your Game Boy. But or maybe it's just it like acts like a cartridge. It's $49 and the sales quote to get you interested. The Game Boy Camera Pick and Rec is now available. Record for an hour and a half at 3 frames per second. Use the time lapse option of 1 to 60 seconds or take 18,000 pictures. 3 frames a second. So you know the preview window of the Game Boy camera. Have you ever used that?
Yeah. Well,
Like
no, I have
we were
not
trying to take
personally used
pictures.
it, but I've seen it.
Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, the Game Boy camera, like, it's got like a preview. Your Game Boy acts like a preview window, and then you take a picture. This essentially turns the preview window into video. But anybody that's used the original Game Boy camera, that preview window is janky. It's like, it stutters a lot. That's what the video is. 3 frames a second. But I don't know. I thought it was fun, but it's
Can you get
ridiculous.
video off of it? Like, does it save it to
Yes.
a SD
Yes.
card? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Is there a live video out on it? Like, could you hook it up to like a capture device?
I'm pretty sure I've seen streamers do this kind of thing.
I've seen it too. Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
just it's
For
gimmicky, but it's fun
$49, I could see this being a fun toy.
for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It would be cool if you could hook it up to like an HDMI cable or something.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun.
Um,
They don't show any video in this article.
yeah,
Kind of ridiculous.
because 3 frames looks awful. Like GTA turns 25.
Wow.
And also, it's going to be 25 years before they make GTA 6.
Yeah, right.
Are you a GTA fan?
Yeah, I've played several of them. I am not, however, an early GTA fan. I think the
Really, the
earliest
top-down?
one, yeah, the top down ones. I can't remember what the first I had on. Must have been a Game Boy of some
They do have a
vintage.
Game Boy Color Grand Theft Auto game as
Yeah.
well as a GBA game.
But yeah, I don't remember loving it. It always controlled kind of shitty. I didn't really become a fan of the franchise until 3, obviously when it went 3D, and it was
Mhm.
kind of like the first like, whoa, this is a really like amazing like, realization of a 3D world. But honestly, even the 3D ones, like, I'm in and out of. It depends on which specific one, if I like it or not.
So I probably have put more time into the original 2 top-down PC games to anything that's come since. And the
Really?
reason is I've tried multiple of the newer GTAs.
Yeah.
I just don't like them.
Yeah.
There's something about trying to embody a terrible human being that I can't get behind. I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of block I have. I'm like, not necessarily that I'm against like killing people or something in a video game. It's just like, just everything in that game is just how shitty of a person can you be? And it's just, I just can't do it. Like, I can't, for some reason in a game like that, I'm like driving in the lanes, I'm using my blinker. I'm like, politely asking people to get out of their car, and then they're driving away. Like, it's bad. Like, I can't, it's hard to describe. But then there's other games that I can just have fun with it. It's weird. I don't understand why it is that way.
I think tonally the GTA games, like an outsider's look at American culture in a lot of ways, can be a real turn off if you don't like if you're not into what they're doing, you know?
Sure.
Like they're very cynical and sarcastic as well.
Yeah. But
Um,
what's the like the Xbox 360 game that kind of looked like Grand Theft Auto, but it was more like explosions, like they had the
oh
guy
yeah.
from Brooklyn
Um,
Nine.
they just came out with a new one that wasn't very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I'll think of that in 10 minutes.
But I've like played that with buddies and it was fun because it was just like so over the top.
Yeah.
You know, it was more like
Saints
an
Row.
arcade. What's that?
Saints Row.
Saints Row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I think there was another one too. But games like that, playing with friends and stuff is fun. Maybe if GTA was a co-op game, I could get behind it. But it being like a first person experience. I know that they have RP now and stuff, which
Yeah.
I think is actually pretty cool. But I don't know if I could ever play RP personally. Anyways,
Yeah, I mean GTA 5 the online is probably one of the best selling games of all time, right?
sure. I mean, they've been selling it for what, 15 years now, 10 years? I don't know.
It
How long has it
originally came
been?
out for the PlayStation 3 and 360.
GTA 5 release date.
I'm going to guess 2013,
They
2012.
nailed it. September 17, 2013. Almost 10 years ago. That's hilarious. And they're probably not going to release the next one. Didn't they? I think they announced it, but they're
Yeah, they're working
going to
on
be
it
a
now.
year. Yeah. Next story. A bunch of old Palm Pilot games now can be emulated online. Joy. Palm Pilot. Who's pining to play Palm Pilot games?
I used to have a Palm Pilot golf game that I played all the time.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Probably like Snake and Crossword and
Yeah, I don't see any golf games in this list of games though.
really?
Nope.
Like how many? Like 100 and some odd games got released? 116.
I'm just looking at the visual.
Oh, if you go to archive.org, if you click that link,
Yeah.
there's lots of stuff.
I'm not going to do this.
Maybe they'll put it on Analog Pocket.
Maybe.
Have you gotten yours yet?
No, Jay, I haven't.
They're like shipping them all, right?
Yeah, I've gotten a shipping notification. It was supposed to come today.
Oh!
It is still in Indiana.
Oh no! Did it
I
get
have
stuck? Is it
set up an
snowy
SD
there?
card with like all the the proper firmware
You're ready to go.
updates. Yeah, I've got all the games installed on the SD card. All I gotta do is pop that sucker in. But no, it's not here yet. But it is being delivered, so I do have a tracking number.
Before next episode, you should get it. That's cool.
Yeah, it should. I mean, it is FedEx, so who knows?
I mean, it's the holiday season too, so you got to cut them a break.
No, I don't. They are consistently shitty all year.
So Joe and Mac, I think we talked about this long ago. Joe and Mac got a remake called Caveman Ninja got released, and it
Yeah.
got decent reviews.
Hey, that's good.
I meant to put a link here to like some video. There's some video. The platforming looks pretty jank to me, but I don't know. I'm gonna put it. Let me find the link.
Yeah, I mean, Joe and Mac games have always looked a little jank, right?
Yeah. It's weird. It's hard to describe. It looks like one of those quickly like the gameplay and the levels look good, but like the movement looks funky to me.
Okay.
Like it looks like, their body parts are moving kind of on like a sliding scale and stuff. It's
Yeah.
odd. You're looking at video now.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You know how I'm talking like arms like pivoting from the shoulder and stuff.
Yeah, like almost like a paper, like with a
ladies
pin
and
in it.
gentlemen,
Yeah, like a
this is
South Park
King.
rendition of a game. Like they have those, you remember those little metal circles that you could put like two pieces of paper, like you could make a clock out of it, where you'd put the paper circle in the middle. And
Yeah.
then the clock. That's what it looks like. Anyways,
Yeah, this looks like a Flash game.
it does. It does. But it's available for like all systems. I don't know how much it is. I think it's probably like $20.
Yeah.
No physical
Physical copy
yet.
on the Switch? Maybe I'll pick up the physical copy on the Switch because this is the kind of dumb shit that's worth something 15 years from now.
Is there is All the terrible games are the ones that get rare and valuable because nobody ever wants them.
Right.
Is there a physical game on the Switch?
I don't know.
Probably not yet. This is not retro. God of War Ragnarok, right? But a lot of people have been playing this recently. I don't know if you've probably been covering it on Side Quest, I imagine.
Yeah, there
But
is a physical edition for the Switch.
oh, nice.
It's $40 though.
$40. Okay, well. God of War Ragnarok director wants to make a Castlevania game.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, this is a super cool story.
This dude's name is what? Corey Barlog? Is it still him? Is that his name?
Sure.
I mean, isn't God of War basically like a 3D version of Castlevania? Like, isn't that what it is?
Well, God of War always has those bigger than life characters and stuff, the bosses, and I feel like it's more melee. Well, I guess Castlevania is melee combat too, but God of War never really had the power-ups that Castlevania has and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would absolutely play a game made by these guys in the Castlevania universe. I mean, I'm starved for Castlevania content. Obviously, Konami is just, not doing. Although, there seem to be signs of life over at Konami lately. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection, and isn't there a rumor that they're going to do another Silent Hill game?
Yes.
So, it's like maybe, I mean, Castlevania is a huge property with like a ton of built-in fans. I think maybe that they had the regular release of the Game Boy Advance stuff had kind of, and the DS stuff had kind of like mined that fan base as much as they really wanted to pay. And maybe the sales weren't so good. But I think like a big AAA Castlevania could do something real good.
Well, yeah, they tried the 3D Castlevania games and they didn't go over all that well.
Oh, that's true. Lords of Shadow.
They did have the Curse of the Darkness or whatever, the games on PS2 that were pretty popular.
Yep.
I think, but I've never played a 3D Castlevania game. But this would be interesting. I would like it if they didn't make it like PS5 only. Ideally.
Why?
I don't know. I hate that fucking controller.
You don't like the PS5 controller?
No, I got a Cronus Zen and a way to not use. But it's still just, it's convoluted.
Probably Sony Santa Monica is going to make it. It's going to be PlayStation. Oh, they could come to PC, right?
Yeah, well, how long did it take for God of War to come out to PC?
I don't know, a year, 2 years maybe. I don't know.
All right. I mean, I know it performs fairly well on that system, but still.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Hacker? No, different. Retrobit announces Battletoads and Double Dragon, as well as Glay Lancer reprints. Pre-orders end December 27th. So if you go to Retrobit, Battletoads Double Dragon is a generally well-received SNES game. It looks like you had put the link here too, actually.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had already put that in, so I doubled up on the news this week. But I don't know. These are kind of neat. The Glay Lancer, I think, is a pretty expensive Genesis game. So if you want to play a physical copy of that, I think it's pretty neat to be able to buy a new one. Also, they do some fun stuff, I think, with these where like the cartridges are different colors and the packaging is a little different. It's meant to be, the packaging is meant to stand the test of time as opposed to just be thrown away and keep the game like the original stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I may buy Glay Lancer. I don't know.
Do you know what kind of game Glay Lancer is?
It's a shooter, side scroller.
Like Gradius style?
Yeah, I believe so. I've never played it, but from the pictures I've seen, it looks like it's a shooter.
Gotcha. Hacker NCause adds Contravania mode to Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. So I don't know if you watched this video. Basically, they throw a Contra dude into Castlevania, running around, just blowing shit up, shooting things. Like it looks like it's great. He apparently is not the first one to do it. Apparently, it's been done before, but it's still super cool.
Yes, this is super cool. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's just one of the Contra dudes just going into a Castlevania game and fucking shit up.
It looks like it actually makes the game easier because he's got like a big old gun.
Yeah.
He's not using a whip. He's just like brrr, dead. He gets
He's
to a
just
boss.
mowing his way through everything.
Yeah, he gets to a boss and it's like 3 seconds of fire and the boss is dead.
This is hilarious.
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't know.
This is Order of
looks pretty good.
Ecclesia. Is this a 3DS one?
GBA, I believe.
GBA?
Or no, Order of Ecclesia is DS.
DS?
Yeah. It's one of I think it's a pretty rare one actually too.
Is it? Yeah, this is cool. I might play this.
Yeah.
This looks fun as hell.
Yeah. So you download the ROM and yeah, it's not the first one that's been done. So somebody else did Contra Rebirth character inside Dawn of Sorrow. So similar kind of setup in a different game. I kind of want to try it too. I wonder if you can do it on the Analog Pocket. Be perfect.
I don't think
But
you
I
could
wonder
do
if the DS.
DS, yeah.
Looks like it's just one screen though. I don't know. Next story. Anybody heard of the game Moon Jelly for the N64?
No.
Sounds like an N64 game. There was some unreleased footage of a canceled N64 platformer, Moon Jelly, appears online, and it is weird. It looks like something something out of like Edward Scissorhands or something gets thrown into an N64 game, Tim
Yeah.
Burton or something like that. A lot of the characters running around, and it was not really talked well from the developers and stuff, and it just kind of got canceled as a lot of games do. But the fact that there was a VHS tape that turned up with this game, and there's kind of a fun story about it where they think that one of the devs sent it out to Sony, I believe, and it ended up getting to Psygnosis. I think it's like a publisher or developer,
Yeah.
which was connected with Sony. And somebody's dad who worked at Psygnosis had this in his attic, and
No
like the
kidding.
kid found it. Yeah. So apparently Psygnosis and was kind of very closely affiliated with Sony Europe, which is how this came to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of around the time that the 64DD was getting released, and it got retooled a couple of times and just kind of got dropped. But
It looks awful.
it does. I mean, most N64 games, if you just watched a VHS tape about, I feel like it would look
You're
awful.
gonna look awful.
I thought it was interesting though. Whenever they unearth stuff like this, I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Fun story. Lionsgate has been attached to the Streets of Rage movie.
No kidding.
Yeah. And I believe, I don't know if we've talked about it, but the director of, God, what's that movie? I'm going back through and reading it. I can see the movie in my head. The director from John Wick, I believe, is the director.
Oh, really?
I think is what it
Interesting.
says. Yes. Oh, the writer from John Wick. That's what it was.
Oh,
Derek
that's a different
Kolstad
story.
is the writer of the Streets of Rage movie.
Okay.
Sorry.
I wouldn't say the plot of John Wick is really what kept me going in that movie.
Sure.
You know, pretty straightforward revenge flick. You know, it was really the action and the direction, and you know, Keanu Reeves, like the hardcore training he did to pull it all off, like that really pulled that movie together.
Yeah, I don't know if Keanu would fit in the Streets of Rage like character set.
I mean, more like Bill and Ted Keanu, though.
Maybe. Would he be the blonde dude, you think?
Oh, man, I don't know. I don't even know how a movie about Streets of Rage gets made, right? It's like, what thread do you pull out of the Streets of Rage?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you go like full on like 90s camp and just try and make
Like a Street Fighter type movie? No,
Yeah.
hope not. No.
Or do you go gritty and
Yes.
but that
Dark
always
like
turns out
Batman.
so shitty. Like Batman?
Batman?
Okay. I mean, there's some
Joker?
good Batman stuff. But it's like
Dark Knight?
Streets of Rage though? It's like how do you why is this got Streets of Rage's name on it if it looks like that? You know what I mean?
You basically just have to make a really good movie and then have those characters that look like them, and they're beating shit up.
All right. I
Really.
mean, you make a strong point. If you make a good movie, you're halfway there, I guess.
Put The Rock in it, you know. Get actually
To play
oh
Max?
God. What's that?
He would be a good Max.
Yeah,
Like the
and
big
then
guy?
who's the little guy who's always in movies with him, the comedian?
Oh yeah, what is his name? That'd be, and he'd be the guy on the roller skates.
The skater kid rolling around. Or you could have like Michael B. Jordan, and there's the skater kid too.
Okay,
Maybe.
so maybe if you did like a Jumanji type of movie,
Sure.
like they did the new Jumanji movies, they're pretty funny. You could do something like that.
I don't know if I'd want a funny Streets of Rage movie though.
Yeah, I don't know that I want.
It'd be ironic, Streets of Rage, and they're just like buddy comedy, crime fighting bullshit.
I don't know. I mean, Sega obviously made a lot of money off the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, and they're looking to capitalize on that success. But
I mean, they're good movies though. Like,
yeah,
they did them well.
I agree.
So get some stars in there. We'll be fine. It's gonna be a few years before we see it though.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to cover the next one?
Sure. Oh yeah, the EverDrive compatibility has been fixed for the Analog Pocket. So there is a EverDrive X7, Game Boy X7 that has had some compatibility issues, and I actually had thought it got fixed a while ago, but apparently it just got fixed now through a firmware update from EverDrive. My question is, why the fuck would you want to use it? I mean, you can already just put Game Boy ROMs directly on the device through an SD card. So it's like, I don't know, the usefulness for this thing is almost nil to me.
Maybe so you can just plug and play into other Game Boy systems too, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, okay. But then what do you care if it works on the Pocket?
Because they already have one.
Yeah. All right. I mean, if you already have one, I guess this is a nice fix. I wonder if there's like some kind of compatibility issue with like special chips in some Game Boy games that maybe the EverDrive can do and the Analog Pocket emulation can't. I don't really know, but I'm not sure why you'd want to use this anymore. But it is fixed.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine most people that are using EverDrive on it was within the last year.
Yeah.
When it was not hacked yet, or
Right.
they already had the cart.
Right.
Because now all those people that spend $150 on a cart are like, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you could get all that money back basically by reselling on eBay. Those things usually go for about what you bought them for.
Sure.
Because they just can't seem to make enough to keep up with demand, so you can just sell it on eBay and get most of your money back.
True. Think that's it for the news?
Yeah. Plok.
So what do you think?
Plok.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about Plok?
Plok is a weird game, man. It's a weird game.
It is a weird game. Not a bad game.
Honest. I did not get to play a ton of Flock. I've been sick all week. Flock. I want to call it Flock too. I don't know why.
Well, please. Yeah.
But I didn't get to play a ton of this. I probably put in an hour on this one just because I've been sick. And I have noticed about myself a flaw in my character. When I feel shitty and I watch something or play something new, I often think it's shitty because I felt shitty when I was playing it.
Sure.
So, in all honesty, I am trying to give this game a fair shot. And I will say it's very colorful and the controls pretty well. I have no idea what's going on. And there seem to be some comments about being diddled, which was a little bit concerning to me.
You know what's funny? I literally wrote down that quote so that we could talk about it. I've been diddled again.
I mean,
of course, we would both pick up on that.
It sticks out.
That's what she said. Yes.
It really pops off the screen, you know? Like
I'm
That can't possibly say what I think it says.
no.
um,
Uh,
yeah.
I do find the fact so for anybody who's never heard of Plok, which it's kind of an obscure game. You're this little hooded figure, um, almost like kind of those old school like what are the guillotine guys with the hoods.
Oh
It's kind of
yeah,
like what it looks like you're doing, right? And
yeah.
he's like red, and his arms and legs are detachable. So each time you hit the attack button, he'll like throw an arm, and then if you do it again in quick succession, you can go like arm, arm, foot, foot, and then there's just this like little blob of a body, but the stuff comes back, and so that's like the main attack, and then you have a regular jump, and then you have like a high spinning jump, almost like Sonic style, and it's a platformer game. Kinda like I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a Mario game, kinda like a Sonic game, kind of like a mixture of the 2,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of, like, dodging and not a whole lot of killing, and then there's this whole I feel like there's, like, a pregame where it's, like, teaching you the different movement stuff, and then once you get into the main game, your objective is to, like, rid the world of fleas. So there's these little fleas that bounce around, and you have to take those guys out to get to the next level. And then there's boss fights and stuff like that, and the boss fights are not easy.
No.
No, they're not easy. Um, it requires a lot of timing and just figuring out the routine and all that stuff. But the fun thing about this is I think I caught this as like a really interesting fact. Shigeru Miyamoto was originally wanting to work on this game. And he was quoted as saying that he wanted to make Plok the number 2 platforming game behind Mario and above Sonic.
Hmm.
Like, that was something he said.
That's
And then,
aggressive.
yeah, it aggressive, and then it ended up that it was a little bit too close to the Yoshi's Island sequel to Super Mario World, then he didn't work on it,
Okay.
but it's really interesting to me. What are
Yeah, that is interesting.
There's also a lot of different vehicles that you can, transform into that have different superpowers, like the couple that I saw. There's like a almost like a boxer that has unlimited fists that fly. There's like a flame throwing one, and there's like I don't know, there's like I feel like there's like 10 of them. There's
There was a
quite a
saw
few.
blade, I think, where you turn
Yeah,
into
the
like a
saw
buzz
blade you
saw.
just pick up and you just like zzz. So I didn't get to play a ton either. It's much longer game than I had originally anticipated.
Yeah. Is there
You
a
kind of
save
move
system?
no, there's no
Okay.
save system, there's no passwords. It's
Nice.
tough. Like you have to there's a way to get to a certain spot where if you reset the game, it'll go back to that spot, but if you hit the power button, it's done.
Okay.
So and there's worlds and levels. It's kind of laid out like Super Mario World where you're going around the different, but you don't really have a choice. It's or maybe it's more like Donkey Kong Country, really,
Yeah.
where it's more linear. But I don't know. It was interesting, different.
I was really confused about what the character is. Like he doesn't look like anything that I could identify. I don't have a manual. Maybe I should have looked in the manual. Did they explain what he is?
I
It's just
can look.
like a dude. Like he's just
It's a
kind of this
dude.
like amorphous blob. It is, it's a kind of a cool mechanic the way he kind of boomerangs out his hands and feet, and then he kind of like plops on the ground when his feet are gone. So he just kind of like,
Right. Yeah, he's just like a little blob.
yeah, it's a weird like aesthetic, but like the levels are very colorful. They look nice. It reminds me of Wonder Dog for the Sega CD, like as far as
Oh, I
like the
haven't
level
played that.
design goes and everything. Um,
Says that he's an irresistible, irrepressible, unstoppable, highly improbable, and downright dangerous bundle of pure energy.
huh. Yeah, I don't feel like they nailed the character. Like they didn't nail like these kind of games. They need like a cute and charming kind of character that you fall in love with. Like a Mario or a
Sure.
Sonic, and they just don't quite nail that.
Right. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those games that you have to play to experience just because there's a lot of unique
Yeah,
mechanics. But it's not something that I'm going to be necessarily going back to, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither. But kind of a cool pick to just try it out. Like you said, like it's. I don't think I would have ever played this one on my own. Like
Yeah, I've been
scrolling
wanting to try it
through.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like,
Technically, I think it's an impressive looking game, and it plays okay. Like it plays fine. It, honestly, when I looked at it in motion, I thought it was going to be kind of janky. I thought it was going to be a little bit like stiff, but playing it, it felt good.
yeah. I have a dog who's currently chewing up things in the office. I'm trying
Oh,
to hold on.
you get them like an apple bitter kind of thing. Yeah, a lot of these games that like you think are like 2D platformers. So many of them try to emulate like a Sonic or a Mario back in the day. There was just so many 3D. There's so many like mascot platformers back then, and a lot of them really went for kind of like the attitude like Sega did with Sonic. Like I'm trying to think like there were definitely like rodents of some sort and a bat of some sort, the acrobat, and I don't know. There were just so many of them, right? There were a dime a dozen, like Chester Cheetah. Like they were even pulling them out of other media. And this guy just like he doesn't have the personality, Like you would want like personality out of your 3D action, your mascot platformer. And the mascot, I don't think is carrying his weight here.
It's just like a hooded. Like I almost wanted to have like a sickle or something, like chopping people's heads off.
That would have been cool. That would have been a cool twist if it was like death.
I mean, he's going around this colorful world like ha 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 ha. I don't know. But yeah, it is hard to get away from the like colorfulness. It's almost like a clay fighter character or something, like just the way
Yeah.
that it's all kind of sculpted. But unique gameplay, like something you're not going to find in any other game. If you're looking for games that are unique, this is definitely fits the bill.
Yeah, I would 100%
100%.
agree with that.
Some other fun facts about this game. It's a reworked version of a game called Flea Pit that was originally supposed to be an arcade game, but it was canceled. It got kind of caught in some legalese stuff where like the company got bought and then it just kind of got dropped and then it got repicked up. So it was like a late 80s where this character was created. And then it wasn't
Oh,
released until the 93 by Software Creations, which eventually became what was it? Interplay, I believe.
this is an
Or was
Interplay
it
game.
or Acclaim, excuse me. Acclaim Studios Manchester was what it eventually, not like Acclaim, but Acclaim Studios Manchester is what it ended up being coined because the company Software Creations got bought out. So then they like renamed it to this. It wasn't bought by Acclaim, but they did a lot of cool games as Software Creations that you probably have heard of. They did Bionic Commando, they did like Ghouls and Ghosts, Sky Shark, Silver Surfer, Kiwi Craze, um, just Gauntlet 3, Double Dragon 3, Blaster Master 2. Equinox was one of their big ones, and Solstice were two of their bigger ones as well. But lots of stuff that you probably have played, but nothing quite as unique as Plok, I feel like.
Yeah. I don't get it. How you're saying they made Bionic Commando and like Capcom games?
On the Commodore, yeah.
Commodore. Got it. Okay. So ports.
Or I don't know. Did they do the original?
No, they couldn't have. Right? Those were
No, it was
came out of
Capcom, right?
Japan. Yeah. They must have been like working with Capcom to do Commodore ports as their NES games.
Or it was. I'm trying to look like the way that this page. Actually, it was Commodore, Amiga, ARM, like the PC ports, Atari, that stuff. That makes sense. I didn't know that they did that. Did they just like hand off games to different developers to just make ports of stuff? Was that a normal thing that happened?
Yeah, I think so. I remember playing the PC port of Street Fighter 2. It was terrible. Not made by Capcom.
There's a D-make of Street Fighter on NES too. I think we talked about a
I know.
while
I
ago.
gotta check that out sometime. I'm sure I could find it pretty easy.
This game was originally supposed to be on Mega Drive as well as like Game Boy and stuff too, I think.
Yeah.
And that stuff ended up getting canceled. But it would have been interesting to see Plok on Mega Drive next to Sonic and Sparkster and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was supposed to be a lot of like merchandising and sequels and all sorts of stuff coming out of this character.
I don't see it. I just don't see it having like the cachet, you know? Like it's an
Staying power.
interesting
Well,
game to play. I'll give you that, but the character doesn't have any character.
so the game Fleet Pit was seen by a lot of folks, and games like Bubsy and a lot of other like spiritual kind of linked games
Yeah.
similar like the when this game was first created there was nothing like it, nothing even close.
Sure.
And then around the time that Plok was released there was a bunch of games that came out that were like colorful platformers with lovable characters, and
Yeah.
this kind of got um buried a bit.
In the context of that, of it being delayed or like, you know, the development being troubled and moved from platform to platform, place to place, it makes a little more sense, right? It definitely would have been much more eye catching in the late 80s than it would have been in the mid 90s.
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like this on the SNES and Genesis.
A ton of it, right? I mean, that's the era of the mascot platformer.
Right. But this game is generally very highly regarded, and it's on a lot of people's like top lists and games that you have to play and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting to me. But yeah, the fact that there's the fact that there's no save or password system is
Yeah,
kind of crappy. There was a quote saying that they didn't want to have passwords because they didn't want video game magazines spreading them around. It's like, okay.
yeah. Or
So
we
you
didn't
don't
have
want
it in the budget.
There's also a Child's Play difficulty that I kind of want to check out where the enemies move slower and
Interesting. Maybe
some of
that'd
the
be worth
harder
it just to
levels.
burn through it.
Yeah, just to experience it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably need that nowadays, to be honest.
Probably the best way to play this would be in an emulator, so you could just use save states to get through it.
Yeah, true. There's ways to like get extra lives and stuff, kind of like the original Sonic. Or actually, I don't know if the original Sonic can do that, but you can collect all the things and get more lives and unlock continues and stuff so that you have more of a chance to keep going. But yeah, there's no real way.
Also, it took me a while to figure out he collects shells as like coins, you know, like the equivalent of coins. But for a while, I was like, why is he collecting garlic cloves?
I got that spicy breath. I don't know why he's Italian. What do you think he'd look like without the mask on?
Oh, I think the mask there is no mask. I think that's his face.
It's just invisible.
I think he's like Zoidberg, you know, that's what he looks like.
You don't think it'd be like those Toad memes where his head is the shape of the mask?
Oh, it could be.
Like pointy, like a cone head?
Yeah. I mean, the way he plays the harmonica with those lips, I think that's his face.
Yeah, Zoidberg. Whoop, 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 whoop. The dog is currently eating a beef pizzle.
Pizzle?
Do you know what a beef pizzle is?
No.
Is that what it is? What I would think it is?
Beef pizzle.
I have to look it up. Oh, fuck! It is exactly what I would. I'm giving my dog bulb penis.
Huh.
He really likes it.
Yeah, that's good.
Apparently, they're supposed to be better than rawhide, so
Okay.
fine.
Sounds like the rawest hide to me.
Rich in protein, vitamins, and minerals.
Yeah, I bet it is.
How do they get so many of them? Like it's a giant bag. Is there just some beef pizzle plant where they're just chopping dicks off of bulls?
I mean, we go through a lot of beef. I suppose the dicks aren't in high demand, maybe.
I shouldn't have looked that up. I made a mistake. Fuck. right, what are we playing next episode?
Oh, I have it all picked out. This one is called Master of Darkness for the Sega Master System. This one seems to go for around $100, but
Fuck
it's
you.
what's that? You don't have to buy
Nothing,
it
I
though,
was
Jay.
What do you mean wait? It's Master of Darkness. Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's PAL.
Is there no American release for this? It says it'll play on a Sega Master System.
I'm looking.
It is an oddly late Sega Master System release. I think it came out in '93, so it might be one of those ones that went to like Brazil, because they're still messing with the Master System after the Genesis came out here.
I'm trying to look it up. There's a Vampire Master of Darkness for the Game Gear.
Yes, that's the same game.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the same game, but it's it's the Master System and the Game Gear hardware are tightly related. A lot of times the same game came out on both.
Hold on. Master of Darkness. I cannot find this. Says it came out in the US, but price charting doesn't even have it. So bizarre. Yeah, it says PAL Sega Master System. And I looked on eBay and I can't. It's not the. It's fine. I'll figure it out. But what kind of game is it?
It's like a Castlevania type of game. I'm going to see if it's listed on Mister here. Sorry for the silence. U.S. Master. Oh, it's not listed under U.S. releases on my Mister either. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was PAL. Only.
It is region free. Is there any reasonable place for us to play it? Just to play it?
Yeah, I'm playing it now.
But I mean, is it on some kind of collection or
I don't know. You want me to do a different pick?
No. I'm just trying to figure it out. Is all.
Yeah. Well, we'll try and do this. If we can't do this, we'll come up with a secondary pick. It'll be a surprise next week.
Okay.
I've been interested in this game for a while. I've wanted a chance to check it out, just because of my adoration for Castlevania. And this is like a Sega Master System, bootleg Castlevania game.
You can play it on the 3DS for $5.
Oh, okay.
And I imagine that's not a terrible way to play it.
You play it on your analog pocket for free.
True. I still haven't hacked mine yet.
Oh man, it is so easy, Jay.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have mine here, so I can only assume what I've done is gonna work. But all you have to do is download basically an updater, and it's just a program, and you place that program on the SD card that you're gonna use, and then you just run it, and it downloads all of the cores, all of the stuff, and then it's just ready to go. It's so easy.
Cool. Do you know if the Game Gear is the same exact game?
I believe it is, but I'm not positive.
Okay, I'll have to look that up because I might pick up the Game Gear game. I don't think I have it yet, actually, because I do have some Game Gear games.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay. Do you have any pickups?
No, I don't have this week.
Okay, I have. I have a bunch, but I kind of pared it down to some of the more interesting ones. Um, Obviously, I got the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet double pack. I haven't opened it yet, but I've heard good things other than the performance issues. So, and people are
um,
like emulating it with like 30 and 60 frames on PC now too.
yeah, that is a thing. You can. I played a lot of Metroid Dread on PC in 4K at 60 frames per second. And it was pretty nice. It, so you can buy the double pack of those games together. Do you get a
Yeah,
discount if you do so?
no.
No, because
They're
I'm
supposed to come with like special bonuses and things, but this one you just get like a bunch of Pokeballs and that's it. Like nothing really all
okay.
that special to be honest.
I got birthdays coming up this week, and
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to keep with my like having every single Pokemon game complete in box
yeah.
theme. I'm still like on the search for a few, um, but otherwise I have
Which
like the
ones are you in
whole
search for?
collection. I need the box and manual for Pokemon Black. I need the manual for Pokemon Pearl. I just got Pokemon the new Diamond one for Switch. And I think other than that, I'm good. I think I have everything else. So, so there's that. Let's see here. I got a whole lot of DS games, a few of which that I kept, and then the rest I'll trade away. But this was the most interesting one: Mario and Luigi Partners in Time for the DS.
Hmm.
Which the Mario and Luigi games are some of my favorite. It's kind of the spiritual successor to the Super Mario RPG, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, which have you played Superstar Saga yet, by chance? The first GBA one.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so you got to check that out when you have a chance. I got a lot of N64 games, which actually had a cart and manual for this. I already had the box, but now I have a complete copy of Milo's Astro Lanes for N64. I do not think it's a very good game, but I'm a sucker for a complete game.
Man, that art is some early CG, right? Holy
Yeah,
cow! Look at that.
this is like what do they call that show? Do you remember that show?
Reboot? Was it Reboot?
Reboot. It
Yeah,
kind of looks like Reboot.
yeah, it really does. Interesting. I love the box art.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually played this game. I think it's like an arcade style bowling game, almost like Mario Party for golf, but it's like that for bowling, which is not a bad idea, really.
I guess.
Yeah.
Take your word for
I
it.
I like getting nice Dreamcast games. This was one that I had gotten in a small lot.
Oh hell
Jet
yeah!
Grind Radio.
Check
It's in great shape.
Ride Radio.
It's got a little crack on the front, but otherwise it's in really good shape.
That's okay. You can just replace it with a standard CD case.
Yeah. Are they not branded in any way?
I don't think so.
I'll have to look it up.
I have that game too
Um,
for the Dreamcast. I only have a few of my Dreamcast games still, but
yeah,
that's one of
it's
them.
a good game. I love the art style, the like cell shaded kind of comic book vibes is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the first games to do that.
I think so. Because they were trying to get the most performance out of like Xbox and Dreamcast and stuff at that day.
Yeah,
It was like a lot of fast movement stuff. Star Soldier for the NES. The main reason I picked this up because it was cheap,
dude,
but it's
fuck
complete.
yeah!
Complete.
Look
It
at
has
that
like
art.
yeah, it's like 80s movie vibes, like Tron
Oh
style.
man, look at that. That is cool.
This has like the poster and the manual and like the warranty card and all that stuff in it, which I love to get fully complete. I think it's a shmup, like a top down, like 1942 style shooter.
Okay, cool.
I thought this was cool. So I do weird things like sometimes I'll get a game plus a manual and I'll keep the manual and sell the game and break even kind of thing, but I'll get the manual for free. This one I got the guide and the game for GoldenEye, and I really wanted to keep the guide. So I'm not really big into guides, but who doesn't want a GoldenEye player's guide
Yeah, that's pretty
to
neat.
see Pierce Brosnan's super extra large mouth?
Yeah, it's so big.
The mouth meme. Every time I see this, I can't help but see like, it's just a giant mouth. It's, it's really funny. Anyways, so that's fun for me. Did you know that Jeep made a game for Game Boy?
I think I did actually. Yeah.
Jeep Jamboree Off-Road Adventure, complete in box, made by Virgin Games.
That is the most generic artwork on the front of that box.
2 Jeeps with you see the motion blur?
Yeah. The speed lines. Those are like the most generic looking Jeeps too. They're like steel wheels. They don't even like look like modified Jeeps.
Look at the gameplay. You're in the fucking Jeep. They're taking half the screen of the Game Boy away to put you in the car. Whenever I play a racing game, when you play a racing game, do you ever use this view?
Yes, I always do. I always use
Really?
yeah. I never do
I
the
always have to
like
be, like,
behind
as
the
far
car.
away.
Not me. I like to be in the
Uh,
car or
yeah,
on
I
the hood
can't
of the
do it.
car, kind of.
On the hood of the car? He's like,
Yeah.
he's fucking hanging on. The last pickup is kind of a doozy for me.
Okay.
So,
Oh, Four Swords.
Four Swords, the big box version,
Yeah. Does it have the adapter in it?
which has the adapter in it, but so I got this for complete in box price, but I got to be very careful here. It is sealed,
Oh, look at you.
and it is I don't think I've ever seen a sealed game in as good of condition as this. Like, I actually might get it graded and
Yeah.
then put like a regular complete copy in there because it
Yeah.
is basically perfect. And there's not a whole lot of copies out there. And the link cable is also unused. So I think it looks like they like opened this and never did anything with it.
Yeah.
They opened the box and just like left it.
Huh. Wow.
So I
That's
don't know.
crazy.
But yeah, I don't, and the box is pretty beat up too. So they were just using it as protection for the game, really. But I didn't have this game at all. So yeah, I'll probably, I don't know, get that other game grade. Like, I don't like to grade games, but it's a good preserver for a game that's in perfect condition.
Yeah.
So, and then I might grab a complete in-box copy to put in here. So that's pretty cool. So I don't know if do you remember what my secret to getting good deals on eBay or Mercari is after? So like you snag one, and then what do you remember what I do after that?
No.
I messaged the seller and I asked them 2 questions.
What else do you got?
Yep. First question, can you please send that in a cardboard box so it doesn't get fucked up?
Yeah.
And then the second question, do you have anything else that you're thinking about listing? Because I might want. And I did that over Thanksgiving weekend. And some guy, it's this guy, the Jeep Jamboree guy. So this is in fantastic shape. I got a good deal on it. And I was like, do you have anything else? And he's like, actually, yes. I kind of inherited like a medium-sized game collection. It's got like NES, SNES, and some other stuff. And I'm like, would you mind sending me some pictures? And a lot of times sellers don't. They're just like, oh, just look out for my eBay page and you'll see stuff. Just, and I hate doing that because I'm not on my phone the whole damn time refreshing. I hate that shit. So he actually sent me pictures of a bunch of complete inbox NES and SNES games, and he let me cherry pick the ones that I wanted.
Wow.
And then he gave me the way that he is weird. Like, there were some cheaper games that I wanted that were between 30 and $50, but he priced them like right where they were. I was like, yeah, I'll probably pass on those. But all the expensive ones, the ones that were going for over $100, he priced like a third of their price. And I like took as many of those as I could. And they're on their way. They should be here Wednesday or Thursday. So 13 games, complete in box. I'll probably keep 4 of them, 5 of them, and then trade or sell. Some of them might be upgrades to what I have too. But just like Contra 3, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Zelda first print box,
Oh,
uh,
neat.
Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Jr., bunch of cool shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So Master of Darkness in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Master of Darkness 2 weeks. And then I don't know what's going on. We should look at a calendar real quick and see what's our schedule looks like around Christmas time. I guess we could do that offline though.
The podcast around Christmas time is like 2 days after Christmas.
Yeah, we might skip that one then, because I'm thinking I'm gonna take that week off like altogether.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Anyhow, we will be back in 2 weeks for Master of Darkness. Thank you all for listening, for watching. That's it. That's it.
Tell
That's all I
Briar
got.
you hate the fact he doesn't like French fries. I want to see lots of tweets.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.